Hey everyone, finished watching the next VR Troopers episode, Endangered Species. This is a episode. It's fine. There's nothing really too weird. There is one particularly really weird thing in it, but I'll talk about that when I talk about it. Starts off with Ryan at the little pagoda thing, reminiscing about his father talking about nature, and then we cut to this white furry thing running through the woods. Anyway, cutting away from that, we see Caitlin at the newspaper meeting up with an old friend of hers, Danielle. Danielle's mother runs a animal preserve, and they're having some issues with it, and she wants Caitlin to do a story, hoping that maybe that'll bring some attention to the nature preserve. And then we cut to Carl Zichter. It turns out he's the problem. He wants to buy the nature preserve and build a factory over it, or whatever stupid evil businessman thing of the week that he's up to. And then, so they go down to the nature preserve, and Percy follows them because that's just his shtick now, I guess, is following Caitlin around to steal her stories. Alright. So then, let's see. At Tao Dojo, Ryan's trying to teach a karate class and keeps getting distracted by Jeb trying to steal food out of the students' lunches. Doesn't really go anywhere or mean anything, but it's they sure dedicated some time to it for whatever reason. So, the troopers get to the preserve, and then Percy follows, and he gets pooped on by a bird. That was necessary. Anyway, Danielle's mother tells them about the furry wombats have broken out of their enclosure. Danielle goes to look for the wombats and gets kidnapped by skugs. The troopers run into the skugs, they fight through them, and let's see, they see more Grimlord's monsters. So Ryan goes to fight the monsters while Caitlin and JB go to rescue Danielle. And then Ryan sees one of the wombats, and it turns out the big white furry thing at the beginning, that's what they're calling wombats here. Wombats are little, like, quadrupedal marsupials native to Australia, from what I found. They're not big, shaggy, bipedal ape things with big ears. I really don't know why in the world they named these things wombats. Of all the things you could have named them, wombats is such a bizarre thing. All I can guess is maybe the writers thought wombat sounded cool, or maybe they were called wombats in Metalder. And if that was the case, you didn't have to keep them, like, named wombats. You could have called them whatever you want. So whatever, aside from that weirdness, it's a pretty standard episode. JB and Caitlin rescue Danielle. Ryan helps the wombats escape, and at one point he gets overwhelmed by bad guys, and the wombat comes back and helps him fight off the bad guys. Percy's still out wandering around. He falls in a mud puddle, and let's see, he gets all messed up and dirty. So this kind of fits the thing.
Percy. Don't call me Dirty Percy.
So anyway, that happens. And then they all get back to the... Oh yeah, let's see. The wombats are returned to their enclosure, and there's not a lot of footage of them to use, I guess, so we see a reused shot of one of them running away. It works well enough, anyway. The troopers get back to the newspaper place, Percy makes it back, and he's all messed up and filthy and miserable, and he takes out his little cassette recorder that he was taking notes on, tries to turn it on, but oh no, it's ruined because he fell in the mud. So, and that's where the episode ends. It's a episode. It's perfectly standard. There's nothing that really stands out about it. There's, like, the only weird thing is the wombat things, like, and not really them, it's more just why choose to call them wombats? It's such a bizarre choice. Um, oh yeah, also Grimlord. He was feeling nostalgic, so as soon as his plan failed once, he decided, I can never try that again. That's back, I guess. Um, the Metal Heroes footage is utilized in a clever way. One of the things the wombat creatures in Metalder in the Japanese footage, they have little tags hanging off their ears, so it makes sense for them to be on a nature preserve. Oh, and also, they mention that they're endangered. So, oh, and one of the things with them being endangered, when I looked up wombats, like real-life wombats, I found that they were native to Australia. And I was thinking about, oh, well, if these were the two last of their species, then it makes sense that they wouldn't be in Australia. Quite possibly they would relocate them to somewhere that had the resources to take care of them. It's probably thinking way too deep into it. I don't think the writers thought nearly that deep into it. That probably wasn't the intention, but anyway, it's a totally standard episode. Nothing really bad, nothing really great, but it's fine. At the very least, I'm at the end of, let's see, the first disc of Season 1, Volume 2, I think. Yep. So, almost to the end of Season 1, and then I can start Season 2, where everything improves and gets a lot better, or at least I seem to remember it gets a lot better. So, that's it for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. See ya.